And there we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, so we're going to go over if a supplier has to send a substitute item. They don't have the item that we normally order into inventory, so we need to get a substitute. So the first thing that we need to do is determine if the item is the same case pack size. If it's the same case pack size, then we can bring it into inventory. It shouldn't be a problem. If it's not the same case pack size, it's not advised to bring it into your inventory. It's advised to talk to your outlets that need the item, that use the item most, and find out if they can take the substitute direct. So again, try and make sure that the specs on the substitute match the specs for your inventory item before you bring it into inventory. So in order to make the change, if we determine that we want to go ahead and accept the item into inventory, we're going to locate the PO and we're going to go to orders to do that. And then we are going to search for the PO number. We should know it at this point. We've already spoken to the supplier about it and whatnot. So we are going to look for 389781. I'm going to click the magnifying glass, or you can hit enter. And it's going to bring me to my purchase order. I'm going to go into the PO. And then I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and I'm going to request a change. All right, and then we're going to scroll down to the line items, and I'm going to find the item that the supplier needs to substitute. So let's say it's this butter. They want to send me a different butter. Now, the one that they want to send me, it is the same case pack size. It's got 36 1-pound pieces inside of it, and it is the grade AA. So we're going to go ahead and accept that substitution. The suppliers provided me with a new part number, so I'm going to simply change the part number right here to that new number. And then we're going to leave everything else the same. We can't change the description. The price should remain the same. And then you're going to scroll down to the bottom once you've made that change and hit submit change request. And you'll see that it'll go through my buyers and my supply chain manager. Now, that change must be approved prior to being able to receive to it. So it's really important that we monitor those and we let our buyers know if they haven't approved it that, hey, we need this approved so we can receive the order when it comes in. Any questions on making that change? All right. Are then going to go over the inventory history report. So this report is really very detailed, very versatile. It can tell you pretty much anything you need to know about your inventory. So to get to the inventory history report from your home screen, I am at home and my Wi-Fi at home is a little bit slower than the Wi-Fi at work, so bear with me here. And then we're going to click on reports. And then this bottom one here is inventory history report, the little, it looks like a dolly. And that's going to take us into it. So there's so many different things that you can do in here. I'm going to show you, let's see here. Where, there it is. So these are really good terms to learn. You'll get this PDF yourself, so you should you'll be able to see these. But these terms are really important, and they're kind of your go-to terms for inventory in general, but for this inventory history report, these are definitely going to be some of the search filters that you want to use. So notice the difference between stock orders and purchase orders. So stock orders are internal purchase orders from outlet to warehouse. So that's your picks. That stock order turns into your pick list. That stock order is also what you do to do the receiving once you've done the pick. And then the purchase order is external purchase order from the property to the supplier. So that's your direct orders. This is your internal recs. And then you've got, your inventory transfers, inventory receipt, all your cycle count options and whatnot. So these are really good terms to familiarize yourselves with. So if we go into the report, there's a few different things I want to show you that I think are probably most common that you'll need to look at. We're going to change the view to all. All right, so we're going to use the advanced search filters, and I'm going to add an item number. And I'm going to use item number 401-515-0172 and search. Oh, I forgot to add a filter. We're also going to add a filter for to warehouse. So we want to look at what's going into the warehouse. And then this is a drop down, so you'll select your own warehouse there. And then you can see these are all the different transactions that have taken place for this specific item. So we adjusted 2 cases out of inventory. Chances are, they were spoiled and we just needed to get rid of them. Inventory valuation update. That one, I don't quite remember which one that one is. I don't think it explains it here. I think this was a receipt, like it's the second piece of a receipt. And then you've got, the inventory receipt here. And then you'll see transfer out, and that's going to be your pick. So anytime you move something out of inventory, it'll show inventory transfer out. Another example that we can look at is I want to look at picks for a specific item. So, give me 1 second here. Oops. And then I want to change this to from, that's correct. From warehouse. And this is going to show everything that when we inventory transferred it out. So it'll show you the cycle counts, but it'll also show you this is your picks. So we issued 10 cases on that day. And then inventory adjustments. We would go to type. And then we would look at adjustment. And we would see if there were any adjustments made to the item. So you can see there's been a few. It looks like I'm looking at multiple warehouses here. So you can see, here we Jonathan actually adjusted 4 cases out of inventory of this item on the 1st of October. So there's a lot of different ways that you can manipulate these search filters and really get a lot of good information out of it. Is there anything specific somebody wants to look at? Is there any questions on how to manipulate the filters or anything? Okay. We are going to move on to, so the next couple of things that we go over here are some reports that you should be getting out of the system. So you'll get email reports, and then you'll be able to go view them in Coupa. So the first one we're going to look at is So warehouse GL error catch. So as we talked about before, your GL codes that you submit, that you enter in on your orders, that auto approver at the bottom, the warehouse replenishment, it'll change those GL codes to update to what they should be automatically, but they have to be correct to start with. So if we put in a PO and it's got the wrong GL code on it, it will pop up on this error report. So you'll get an email with a spreadsheet attached to it that looks similar to this. I know that's really small and hard to see, but you've got the PO number, you've got the supplier, the item, and the account number, the GL account number that it was charged to. So we're gonna go and we're gonna find in Coupa, we're going to click on orders. We're going to make sure we're under the purchase order subtab, and we're going to search for this one, so 389781, and we'll hit the magnifying glass. Once we get into it, we're going to click on the PO number. And we will scroll all the way down to the bottom. And it won't let me do it because there's a current change on it. So let me go ahead and retract that. All right, so then we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom and select Edit Change. And we're going to figure out which item here is the one that's wrong. So we're looking at this liner, this trash liner here. It's actually a general item. However, if we scroll down, we can see it's being charged to the food GL code. So this is not the GL code that it should be going to. So to change it, we're going to click on the magnifying glass. And we're going to type in our company code and our division. And our department. So these are the warehouse numbers. And we're going to click search, and it's going to give us all the different GL codes possible for this company, division, and department. So these are operating supplies and equipment. That's where this item falls within our warehouse. So I'm going to select choose, and you will see that it's updated it to the correct one. Once I make that change and I go through and I verify that all of the other GL codes are correct, I'm going to scroll back down to the bottom and I'll hit submit change request. And again, same thing, it goes to the buyers, it goes to your supply chain manager, and any further changes can't be made until it's been edited. So you want to make sure that you're monitoring that and keeping up on it. All right, so there's another one that you will get. So this one is inventory purchase orders that were received incorrectly. So it was received, chances are it was consumed instead of received to inventory is the most common issue here. So you'll get, you'll get a report, you'll get a report that looks similar to the last one. But then you'll want to go into Coupa and actually find the report in Coupa. So this PDF document, it has the path for it on here, and then there will it'll also show you on the report when it comes through where it is. So we will go to inventory, view receipts, and then I want to change my view to warehouse receipt errors. So 082 warehouse receipt errors. And that's going to bring up all of the ones that were received incorrectly. In a moment. There it goes. So you can see here, there's quite a few. It looks like it's all one order, all done on the same day, all by the same user. And so we're going to go ahead and click on the created date to take a look at the details that are in here. And I can see here when I look at the location. the receiving quantity consumption, that's not what we should have done. We should have done an inventory receipt. So to fix this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and download the attachment that's on there so I can reattach it to the correct one. I'm sorry, so we can reattach it when we correct the receipt. And then I'm going to click on void receipt. And then it's going to pop up with a little box asking me if I'm sure. I'm going to say yes. Once it's completed, it will give me my green bar telling me that it's been voided. Now to go back and fix it, I'm going to go back to the Receive tab. And we're going to search for my PO number again. And then we're going to find the item that I need to correct. So it's this one here. And I'm going to check all. And then I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, and I'm going to make sure this time that we're doing receive to inventory. I'm also going to make sure that my receiving location is correct by using the preview receiving locations. And then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to reattach the item that I just downloaded. Once that's done, I will click Save. And it shows that it's been received. And if we go back to the report, we can see that that item is gone. Oh, when it gets there, sorry. So we can see that item is gone now. The item was 7, the double smoked bacon. So any questions on that one? All right. So the next thing that we're going to look at is going to be stock orders to inventory. So this one's another error report that you'll get. Looks like Jennifer has a question here. Will it show here if a person received the wrong item at another property? That's a good question. Do you mean like if another property received an item that you were supposed to have received? Yes, so it'll show you who the receiver was. And then you can always, if you don't know who it is, you can go into Outlook and use the address book in Outlook to figure out who they are. And then you can reach out to them and we can figure out, was the receipt done in error? If so, then let's just go void it. Or did they actually get the items that they shouldn't have gotten? And then that escalates up to buyers and getting the supplier to either issue a call tag to send it back to the property that belongs to, or doing a refund and return and whatnot. So hopefully it's just as simple as somebody made an error in receiving and we just need to void it. Does that answer the question? Perfect. All right, so stock orders back to inventory. So say we're going through, we're doing our receipts, we've done our picks, and we're going to go through and do our receipts on all of our stock orders, and I accidentally received it back into inventory. We need to fix that. So we're going to get a report that shows us, again, similar report. You'll get this report in your email, and it'll show us all the errors that were made and what we need to correct. So we will go back into Coupa, and we'll go inventory, view receipts. There we go. And this time I want to look at the stock receipt errors. So stock order errors. And we can see here, there's a few items here, and it looks like we did receive this back into inventory. So we need to go fix that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the item. I'm going to download my attachment so I can reattach it when I correct the receipt. I'm going to click void receipt and hit OK. And then I'm going to go back into receive. And 389,584, hit the search button. And then we can see here, this is the line that I voided. So I want to go ahead and receive that back in. This time I want to make sure I consume it, not receive it to inventory, because this is going out of inventory to the outlet. And then I will go in and I'll reattach my file, which you can also drag and drop them if you have it handy. And hit save. So, any questions on that one? All right. So the last report we're going to go over is items that are received to no location. So it's all none, none, none. So a couple of things to note here. You have to make sure that your item is actually available to fix this and it's not an allocation. If it's an allocation, you have to clear the allocation before you can fix it. So you want to close back orders, process all picks, and close any pending stock orders before you can complete the correction. So you'll get another report similar to the last one. You'll go into your view receipts. I'm sorry, this one's in inventory. You go to inventory and on-hand balances, and then it's the inventory receipt issues. And you can see here there is one that's popped up and it's showing none, none, none as the location. So none, none, none is a bad location. We don't ever want to receive to none, none, none for the inventory. I can see that it is available. It's not an allocation. So the reason that this happened is most likely because when we received it, we unchecked the default receiving locations box. So we want to make sure that that's always checked when we're receiving into inventory. So we will go ahead and find the receipt for it. So this one I want to make sure I'm on all. And then I'm going to 389,206. So it's this butter croissant that I want to void because it's received to nowhere. And we can confirm that by seeing here that it was not received to a location. So I want to void receipt, click OK. Go back to receive. $9,206. And then I will find the item that should be open, the butter croissant. I'm going to check all on it, and then I'm going to make sure that I do have a default receiving location set to this. So we want to make sure, again, this box is checked, and we'll click preview receiving locations, and we can see that it does have an actual location. So chances are somebody just accidentally unchecked this box when they made the receipt the original, the first time. and that's how you fix that. You may need to have your inventory balance moved over as well. So, any questions on that? All right. Last few pieces here and we're about done. So let's say we need to order some inventory or some items into the warehouse, but for operations and not for inventory. So to do that, you're going to locate the items that you need to purchase, be it through a punch-out catalog or an order list that you have, an internal catalog even. And I'm going to use the warehouse ops order list here. So I'm going to go in and I want to order, let's go with some Pepsi from Cisco for the warehouse guys when they're having lunch up there. And we'll order 1 case. And then I'm going to add it to my cart. All right, now once you go into your cart, you're going to notice that you default, you should know this by now, but you default to your warehouse, your inventory. We don't want to order this into inventory. We want to order this into our operations budget. So instead of department number being our inventory number, we're going to put in our actual department number, our ops number. And you can see that it changed down here, the receiving department name, it updated it to receiving. This one is not required, but I always fill it in. And then we're going to make sure that our deposits required is no, capital is no, CRF is no. Those are always required on every order you place. And we're going to come down. Oh, we still have some gloves in here. We don't want to order gloves. Let's take those out. But we do want to order the Pepsi. So we have need by date is required. So we check the box, hit edit selected, select our need by date. So those will come in tomorrow. Hit adjust. All right, and we can see it is showing my warehouse replenishment, and it should not be because I'm ordering to my operations budget. However, I didn't update my GL code over here, so I need to go in and I need to update my GL code. 05720 and notice. So they are in the process of updating all of these in the test environment, and it looks like the ones that I need are not live. So we're going to look at the old ones. All right. So depending on your property, we order these into our general supplies budget as part of that. It falls into that budget for us. And we can see that now the warehouse replenishment approver went away and it's going to my supply chain manager. So I will hit submit for approval. Once, see, it's got a match. So that's a good example. So we'll scroll back up here. So because I moved those back to the old chart of accounts, it's not matching up with this accounting company code now. And it's also not matching up with these department numbers. So we need to go ahead and change these back to the old ones. I don't know that it's going to let me though. No. It's not going to let me. So I won't be able to actually finish this through and show you how it looks when it finalizes. But it'll give you the green bar saying that your rec has been submitted for approval. And then once your supply chain manager approves it, it'll go off to the supplier as a purchase order. And then once it comes in, you'll receive it as you would a normal direct order, not an inventory order. Any questions on that? All right. So a couple more processes. Actually, not much here. We're almost done. So I did want to show you real quick after hours. procedure. So when we're closed, but our end users need to get into the warehouse for some reason, you know, they have an emergency and they need, you know, in this case, a chemical to do the dishes with. So they'll go in and they'll place their order like they normally would. And then they need to print the requisition before they go to security to get access into the warehouse. So to do that, it's actually pretty simple. They can just go into the requisition and you can just right click on the screen and hit print. And then you'll select your printer destination, hit print like you normally would in printing. So that's super simple. Once they've printed it off, then they can go contact security, get access to the system and whatnot, but they'll need to sign off on this rec to make sure that they agree that they took what they said they took. So. All right, so just a few more quick tips to go over here, and then we'll wrap it up. So PO review, your warehouse purchase orders, you need to review those every single day. Those have to be updated as close to real time as possible. It should be one of the first things that you do in the morning. Without having those updated, it's going to create issues with you know, your inventory issues. It's going to create issues with running your replenishment order. So it's most important that those purchase orders match up to what's going on in the real world as close as possible. When you're doing your picks from the warehouse, you need to make sure that those are completed when the items leave the warehouse. So don't leave those till tomorrow. You know, don't put those off. Make sure that those are done, again, as real time as possible. Stock order review, make sure that you're reviewing your stock orders every day. Make sure that you're getting your fully signed copies returned and received. Again, that's don't put that off. Make sure it's done every day. If we let these things go even a day, it can create massive issues that are really challenging to correct on the back end. Errors and corrections. The reports that we went through there, the email reports that you'll get and whatnot, those reports will all be set up to where they only send out if there's actual data that needs to be addressed on them. If there's no errors that need correction, the reports won't come out. So make sure that you're watching those reports and you're correcting the issues every single day. Your receipt of stock orders, that stuff should happen every day after delivery. If anything weird comes up, if you come across something that we didn't go over, you don't understand, please don't hesitate to reach out to eProcurement. They're a really great team. They're very helpful. They're very knowledgeable. They're very responsive. I love working with them. They're great people. So please utilize them and their knowledge. Last note, Coupa is as close to real time as it gets. So I cannot stress enough how important it is that these tasks are completed in a timely manner and every single day. So, any final questions? Jennifer, I think that's going to be a property by property thing. I'm not sure the overarching decision that was made on that. But there should be, they are set up at the property. So it is views that you set up, which you should go over that in another training. If you need help with it, though, obviously reach out to eProcurement, utilize the training documents that are going to be available to you and whatnot. But all of those reports, they're set up as a view. I'll show you here real quick. So they're set up as a view. So if you just select a view, and then we click on this little clock button here, you can go in and you can schedule the report however you'd like. So I use a ton of reports that aren't even just what's listed here. They're just reports that I've created over the years that work for me. So. All right, guys, well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. It's been a pleasure training you guys. You all have an on-site day with a trainer once you guys are closer to live. I'm not sure who you all will see. It won't be me. And yeah, so if you guys have any final questions or anything, feel free to email me, call me. Also reach out to eProcurement, utilize the Knowledge Center. There are so many tools at you guys' fingertips, and I'm so excited to see everybody get live in Coupa. Have a great day, everybody.